they have given us a few challenges. If you're wondering, Steve is Toxic. Weeb, if I ask who's Weeb, is actually just Weeb. They gave me this QuakeCon Shoutcast config, which literally you can't see anything on. So we may have to make some adjustments on the fly or in between maps to make sure we can actually see things from one side to the other. But that first MP attack going into the tavern goes absolutely nowhere. They took a few scouts around and didn't get anything on short as well. We'll stick with Weeb the Panzer. He's going to be the one that's going to have to open up the tavern for the MP side before anyone else can go anywhere near it, as they look to get him into position. Nade from behind to make sure they're not being followed. He thinks they are. In fact, he's being followed by his own teammate Steve, though. And now let's see what Weeb can do with his Panzer. Can he open up the door as he waits for that nade to tick out? And here we go. Lines up the shot straight down to the left-hand side. There's no one there. There was a lieutenant that was in there, and he's pulled back, and he makes his way through. Steve now gets a revive onto, I think it's Matter in that door, and that'll give him a little blockage. 3 medics alive, 4 medics alive in the tavern, pushing down the right-hand side to get the frag on the Pro. Steve is going to go for that flag. He's got 2 seconds till spawn. Don't think he'll get there before self-kills out. Oh, someone else got that flag for the MP side. And now we will see MP move up towards the gold crypt. And I think they'll get there just ahead of the Axis. Yeah, only momentarily, though. And they're going to have to fight this one out. They can't toss down a dynamite just yet. Axis medics coming in. 2 of them go in. Mirage is down. And it is Lamp just left behind to try and hold on to the flag. And Weeb is going to lead in. There's more allied players coming in, but it's a lieutenant who gets picked off and nowhere to go for that MP assault. They'll reset, though, and they have their allied players, or they have made a fair bit of progress getting up there, but I think the Axis should now be set up. If you look at that raw side, the first allied attack came a little too quickly for them up to the crypt, which meant they couldn't get anyone in, and they go on, and it'll be Oxy who goes forward, and he pushes in. Chris is going to make his way in now with the support fire towards the crypt, and it'll be Lamchi who, again, has the most boring job in the world, holding on to that flag. And we'll see Matter pushing in. Panther drops down, it's throw, and he'll get 2. Is there any Axis player who can push in to get that flag? No. And Steve will be the one sat at the bottom of that ladder. Pokes up, he's got a 10-second spawn. They're going to see if they can push in as Mirage gets himself 2 kills and now goes forward. Kevin gets himself 1, and someone did get that flag for the... No, it's going to be Weeb who spawns back because he's going to try and push out towards Axis spawn, is my guess. Mirage with the self-kill grenade, and the Allies stuck. We're going to go over and find Weeb because he's the only one who can get there. I have a feeling the Axis are spec locked because it never takes us over to the Axis players. Weeb the player who can open up for the Allies if he gets there. The self-kill comes in from the Allied side, and went all the way around and got nowhere there, and he's now out for a 20-second spawn, leaving MP with a man down and no opening as Fro drops down into the down the ladder, self-kills himself out. Now let's see whether Matter can open up for MP. He pushes up, but can go nowhere fast, and it'll be Steve that's going to toss up a support fire, self-kill out, and come back at it. Whereas he again is coming back from the first Allied spawn, this time as an LT. Oxy's the one waiting at the foot of the stairs again. The ladder again. He hears someone coming down, gets himself engaged, and it'll be Jam who goes in. Chris pushes forward, Lamchi comes in, and Lamchi's now going to be the one who's going to have to hold on to that flag. He's got a Panzer coming towards him in the shape of Fro, who will get himself the flag and the kill. And this is a blockage for MP. They cannot get out, and you know, the struggle they've got is they're only ever really attacking up towards that crypt with 4 players. They've got 1 stuck on holding the flag, and they've got Weeb trying to create an opening through Axis spawn. And they just don't have the bodies to get up towards that crypt. And now, having lost the flag, they've lost a lot of time. Takes a quick look in towards the tavern, can't get through. Axis grenade will follow up and do some more damage. Chris has no health to play with at the best of times, and now we'll move in with Master. Jam gets the first frag. Mirage gets in. Abject is the III player for Raw, and he gets himself that next frag. So MP just blocked out here. They're unable to push through from the. They're unable to push through this tavern. They may get in now. Yeah, they've got two medics pushing on towards that flag. They've got long spawn though, so they're going to have to. These medics have no LT with them from what I can see, and they're going to have to sit out with sweet little ammo on there, and just hold this flag until they can self-kill and respawn in a few seconds. There is that self-kill, and oh, now we become a Shoutcaster. Now we can see both teams. We don't have to just follow the MP team. Thanks, Adler. As it is Nat who's gone through the Axis spawn. He's got one down for the count, and he will now keep the second Axis player occupied. This is what they've needed for a while. That gives Steve the opportunity to push out. He's out on the graveyard, and they're occupying Jam as well. Steve gets picked off, but not before. Not sure what that green box is. Not before the MP side have respawned and taken a lot of real estate. As Lamshy's the one going in. Now they have an engineer on the crypt. What's it to be as they make their way out over on towards that crypt. There's a dynamite yellow, not to be red. Clown going for it, and we'll now see a Panzerfaust tossed in towards the back, but nothing there, and that dynamite will fade away. MP have plenty of bodies here in the shape of Clown and Mirage, both down though, and sorry, not Crew, Mirage, it was Clown and I forget who it was. Both of them down, but MP have pushed this Raw side back, and finally are out on this crypt, but the clock is not on their side anymore, with 2:20 left for the Allied team, and no dynamite on that crypt. We will see now as they push it. It's going to be Mirage to lead out across the graveyard over towards the crypt. He goes. There's a dynamite yellow on the back, a Clown and his MP40 are trained on Mirage. Dynamite planted. Axis will self-kill and respawn, but there is no Axis engineer near. There's only a medic there, and with the support fire coming in from Chris, we should see a clean blow for the Allies finally, but with so little time left. Oh, Axis engineer on there. It's Mirage. He's going in. There's a grenade next to him. Will he get away? Looks like it. But with 3 seconds to go, he should get this defuse. He does. And it is back to the drawing board for MP once more. And that will be frustrating. Looking at that clock now with 90 seconds to go and no dynamite. If they were to get it at this very second, they could push a run possibly only through Axis spawn. They are running out of options. Another engineer goes up. It's Oxy, and he is down and out. And this looks like good game for MP as Raw shut them out. Lost the tavern stage nice and early, in fact, and if you're on that MP side, you're thinking it was going well at the kind of the 2-minute mark, but unable to break through onto that crypt. The crypt defense from Raw was too strong. And now we are definitely into garbage time, with Raw feeling pretty strong at this point. And just pushing out for some free frags. So full hold to start us here on Village from the Raw side, and they will have to make the best of this. MP, I mean, it's a Village defense. After 20 years of playing Village, it's mainly a question of who's a little bit more greased, who's through the tournament feels a little bit more slick. Because I feel like for either side they have the capability to full hold one another. It's just who's playing. And in terms of who's playing, great to see some names that have been around for a long, long time here. Many of these players, kind of came in the ET days as opposed to RTCW OGs. Obviously, some of them have been to many a LAN. You look at the like of Toxic or Steve, who's been around for, I don't know, 4 or 5 LANs, as well as like I feel like Kevin went to one of the Crossfire lands. So lots of familiar names anyway who have been around for years and years at this point. We'll see what they what either side has on. Oh, someone sent me a better config. Let's quickly get that. So give me 1 second to try and fix this, because to be honest, even I can't see what we're seeing on this Shoutcast config that we have for RTCW Pro. So let's just give this 1 second and set this up. Waiting for 2 players to ready up, so we'll just get this going. That's going to mess up the resolution, which is going to come through, so we have to fix that again. But, you know, now we can actually see everything. That's a win. You can't see the whole screen, though. Give me 1 second to fix that.
Affirmative.
In fact, not even I can see everything. Graphics. I have no idea what the resolution is. We're gonna have to disconnect and come back on. Hold on. Nope. Okay. What was our video system settings that we were at before? Because could not see a damn thing on that last one. System. Here we go. I think this is where we're at. Okay, let's check that in OBS. And I'm not seeing anything coming through on OBS now, which is slightly concerning. Oh, there it is. Okay, great. Now we're good to go. Can you Not gonna lie. Wanted to use the config that they sent us, but also couldn't see anything on that config. So, quite glad to have gotten another one.
Affirmative. On the way.
Alright. That's a little better. As we are ready to get this underway with 3 players left to ready up. You know, last night I downloaded RTCW Pro for the first time, and barely have played an FPS in, well, have not played an FPS in, remove the heavy fog. I'm just going to give it full screen. I have not played an FPS in years. Like, I'm now officially, and this may shock you, old. And the closest I get to any form of FPS is like being crap at playing Lux at League of Legends. It's not the same. And so, many years since ever doing anything FPS-wise, played RTCW Pro last night, and it was just such a phenomenal blast in the process. So to all of those who have been working on this RTCW Pro mod, you are heroes in my mind. Like, so much fun to be able to play again, play with reliable ping. I don't know quite how they've been able to fix the netcode in a 20-year-old game to make it so that North Americans and Europeans can play freely together, but you people are doing God's work in my mind. Anyway, underway on round 2 of map 1. It is Village, and it is the Raw side who have a full 10 minutes to attack NP, and they move forward with Mirage leading the charge. They have a Panzer to go in here. They do. Yes, in the shape of Fro, who you hear the whine of that Panzer, fires it all the way to the back, doesn't land anything. Support fire coming in now from that Axis defense does nothing as well. So the 2 heavy explosives do nothing. You'll see Europe pushing through straight onto the head of Chris. Can he follow up with a second down here? He's done a fair bit of damage, and he gets the kill. No give. And the Axis team respawn as Fro's Panzer goes in. Axis team timeout. And we'll see. If you look at these Axis players, I do not have free fly mode. If you look at these Axis players, they Look like we've got a full complement. We've got 5 players spawned back for the Allied side, and so there should be...
Prepare to fight.
they should be clear. Axis have only just respawned though, so they've got 2 players in the tavern right now with no ammo. And we'll see whether the Allies can get there before they can do any damage. Fro's the one who could mix stuff up now. If he can pick someone off, or 2 people off for a long spawn, then great. But his charge bar on the bottom right is showing only now coming to full charge. So he has the roll here. As whatever he fires, whatever happens on this, both teams will be out for a long spawn. Both will have missed this. As Allies go for the revives to get that revive train going down through the tavern. There'll be Mirage to try and pick up some revives. He's got Kevin. There was another player over to the right as he goes in, and we'll now see Mirage leading in towards the flag. They go, and who was that Panzer? It was Fro, who vaporized himself and took out Weeb in the meantime. Raw charging straight over towards the crypt now. There's nothing from that MP side, and well, the tavern defense, 2 things against them there. The Axis spawn was awful for them as they pushed in, but Kevin, double support fire on the spawn. Matter and Lamp both down. Not sure how the Gibbs status on them, but they get out. Weeb with a double Panzer. Well, no, with a single Panzer, met by the double Panzer of Fro. We're going to see Raw now trying to get an engineer on the back of the crypt. Dynamite is not there, as I think I mistook green for yellow. And so, despite the fact that Raw have control of the crypt, they do not yet have an engineer in place, and that will give MP a small window of opportunity to reclaim here. But Dynamite should go down any second now. Allies have respawn, reinforcements are on the way. There's the Dynamite in the shape of coming from Mirage. He tosses it down. Fro with a double Panzer onto the MP spawn. And Raw are cutting through this MP defense like a knife through hot butter. And Fro is racking himself up 3 frags after 3 frags as his Panzer is fully charged, and we'll wait on him. He's going to try and take down the Axis players going towards the spawn. He goes for the single-man Panzer onto Steve or Toxic, and MP will push out. Dynamite's going to blow any second, and well, MP have to set themselves up for some form of an afterplant here. They've pretty much given up the idea of holding back the objective. And they're going to try and push forward and set up an objective defense. But someone was on the objective, and they were able to clear it out. And we'll see them now reset back up. We're on board with Weeb, Panzer for MP, as he will try and get himself over towards there and that crypt. As the Allies have respawned, tossing out a handful of support fires up. Weeb dropped down. His double grenade gets Fro and Mirage. And you heard Fro's Panzer was whining right as that grenade popped. So MP now will set up for this crypt defense and look like they're going to hold on here for this next Allied spawn. And Axis do move in to claim the flag, but they are a second too late and will not be able to get that. As now Kevin goes in, but the Axis have also respawned. Grenade toss down that ladder. Kevin's on top of the crypt. Double support fire coming in. In fact, triple support fire coming in with the 3 lieutenants just raining down on top of the crypt, but not a single kill between them. And here we go. Here comes Abject or III as he pushes in. Looks like we have a double Panzer from Weave right on cue because there were 2 medics about to train on in up towards the objective. And now it is just Jam who's left, and he will get picked off. And in fact, he is down for a 25-second spawn. Surprised he went up without support there. First support fire kill from Kevin. Look at the clock, 5:15 to go. Then big grenade takes down Abject as we trade grenade frags each team. Mirage is now just trying to make his way in. Fro is picked off by Weave's Panzer before he can do any damage, but for Raw, UOP will be holding on to that flag and they'll be feeling okay. Time still on Raw's side as they make their way down to the wine cellars. We'll see Fro at risk of blowing himself up there. And he's got a 15-second spawn. Weave's Panzer drops down and he just takes out Mirage. And that's okay. His job is just to interrupt the flow of this Allied assault as they push in. Fro goes down. He swaps out to a lieutenant. How many lieutenants are we running on that Allied side now? We're up to 4 lieutenants, just in case you were counting. 3 support fires tossed straight in. And it's a very clear message from Raw. Spam that crypt with support fires. But look at Oxy. Nothing's hitting him. They only got 1 kill from those 3 support fires. Not much of a medic train to go with only 2 medics for the allies as well. And so, if they can pick off you up, which they do, Mirage helps himself to 2 MP40 frags. The train is dropped, and I get it. 4 support fires should clean out the spam, but we've been doing that, or should clean out the crypt, but we've been doing that for a little while now, and not seeing results for the allies. Oh, Oxy's in trouble, and he gets picked off. And right as I start to critique the heavy LT strategy, they get 2 kills and maybe open up the crypt a little here, as it's going to be Uop who's on top. He does get a revive, and we're 2-on-2 at the crypt. It's Steve who's in there, but in the end, it's now going to be Jam coming from the other ladder, but Steve picks himself up 2 MP40 frags, and Raw must reset. Pretty sure one of those players was out for full as well, as the double support on each ladder strategy goes off. There's 2 kills for MP before they've even made it up the ladder, and Raw now go through, and objective is picked up, but there's not much left up. Surely someone's got the return. They do. And there's someone else on those objectives now. It is a medic in the shape of Uop, but he's picked off by Mirage. And objective secure, and he is gibbed out for 20 seconds spawnish. And Matra is going to push on top of the first ladder, help himself to some free ammo. Drop down there, and they were waiting for him, to put it politely. Now going to be Toxic or Steve, who makes his way down, tries to throw out some fire in the middle of that crypt, and he will reset, and we see the MP side with Mirage picking himself up another 2 frags, and Oxy is set atop that gold like a mother goose on top of her egg. But he can't get there after that respawn, and the mother goose is away from the egg, and will we see someone come in and claim it? It's going to be Lamp to get the revive on Mirage though, and the FFE on top of that crypt will actually do a job. Can't see if it's an allied FFE or Axis, but it will do the job of just holding them back. But they are atop the ladder now. It's Lamp and I think Oxy next to him who are on the back of the crypt. And Uop is picked off by Mata, I'm guessing from behind. And the allies now must reset. Double panzer. Jam and Kevin both get themselves a kill. Nope, Jam and Kevin both get themselves killed. Sorry. There's only 90 seconds to go. Objective picked up. Jam's at the foot of the crypt if they can get a good dock run, but they can't. And it'll be Jam to move on in. Panzerfaust stops someone jumping onto that objective. I think it was Jam who was going for it, but more importantly, Mirage has it now. He has 6 points of health. He has no points of health. And the LT that was with him is going nowhere. Now he has Abject. No health himself. And it's going to be Mirage, who has just been revived, 60 points of health, gets it, and is going to run through. We've got 2 players spawn back. Abject has the objective. No, he doesn't. That's leftover. It definitely is with Mirage.
Objective taken.
And now it's been traded to a medic. Let's find who it is. Here we go. It is now with Abject, who is past the tavern. 40 seconds to pick up this first round. See what he can do. They're going to have to move awfully quickly.
30 seconds, let's go!
They know where he is. And Jam is pushing forward. He's going to have to... He's going for a risky revive here with only 20 seconds to go. We can't see what's around the corner, but there's a whole host of MP kills that have gone up in the console. And here we go. Leading the charge forward is Abject on top of a support fire. He will go nowhere fast, but objective is picked up and then is swarmed by 4 Axis players, and MP will take a draw on that. And
the Axis win.
Considering how quickly they lost the tavern, will feel that was a good... Considering how quickly they lost both the tavern and the crypt on that, I think the MP side will say that they got themselves a win on that, because they were well out of time, or they had plenty of time to go forward. As I speak absolute gibberish. Sorry, so I'm trying to find a key. All right, we're all tied up as the Raw side now must set a time. Closest of either of the teams to doing so on that first round. And if you've never watched RTCW before, we play ABBA, which means you set a time, then I set a time, and attack and defense there afterwards. Here we go. Round 2, map 1, QuakeCon final. Here's MP versus Raw. Let's see what that Raw side have. Now can they improve upon their village offense? Their LT heavy strat worked to an extent. His Jam seamlessly lands that nade and jumps through. Jumping in motion from Jam as he makes his way to the tavern, right in time to meet that Axis nade. Jam leads the charge down the left side. Double Panzer comes in from Weeb. It's equaled by 1 from Throw, but not enough Raw players there to make it work. And 3 spawned back there from what I could see, so the team is split. Let's see whether the Axis can take them out. There's the Axis side also running out of numbers here. That could be 2 Axis players down for full if UOP gets that give, and he does. UOP now slowly making his way towards the flag with the help of Abject, and the Allies will take it, and that is a racing fast start from Raw, taking it on the second assault. Now, though, Chris is waiting for Mirage at the top of that ladder to say, alright, enough's enough. You gotta wait a little bit, buddy, before you can go towards the crypt. Axis will have just respawned.
Firing for effect.
And Chris is going to find himself in trouble here if he gets gibbed by that second support fire. He doesn't. And may get a revive coming through now, but Allied players get themselves out towards the crypt. It's UOP the medic who is leading through with Mirage the engineer. Lots of FFE still going down, and there are 3 Axis players up and around that crypt trying to take on Mirage. He gets himself the kill in the give onto 1. It was Chris, who will have respawned pretty quickly thereafter. Throw is going to lead in, and that Allied support fire takes out a teammate, gives a teammate as well, and will slow that defense down. It's Abject who now is the engineer you can see pushing through. UOP is firing across from the side, and both down, both respawning. Let's see what they got. Here's the whining Panzerfaust from Weeb. Doesn't do anything, though, as he wipes himself out, trying to get back on for Axis spawn. That's at least 2 players out of position for Axis spawn. You see this medic with just a Luger in the graveyard. May give an opportunity here if they can get through towards that crypt. You would assume that there is a window to get to the crypt. Now, Mirage is the one leading the charge. Dynamite down on the back. UOP is with him. He should get this plant. There is one stray grenade that's made it, but this Dynamite is planted and will blow at around 6:34. No sign of any MP bodies making their way back. And the Raw side of support fired out to mean that they can't really go anywhere. So MP should be pushing back towards the tavern area and setting up a post-objective defense. They do. We're on board with Lamp as he does that. And Weed fired off a Panzer in towards the objective before self-killing, and now they'll reset. See if fall objective worked. It did. Woohoo. We're on board with UOP, who has that objective for the Raw side. He's left alone as the rest of the battle will go on the southwest courtyard. It is Chris who pushes in now. Manta firing through the smoke on the Jam will get the kill and the gib, and he will feel like he might be able to push out here and take on that objective carrier, but he's not going to. He's going to get dropped by 2 Allied players coming towards him. Let's see where that objective is now. It's with UOP. He's still at the tavern, or just outside the tavern, fearing for his someone coming from behind. If you are that person coming from behind, you're in that kind of paradox of, do I take the flag, let him know I'm behind him, or do I just push out? And he's now going to go here because Europe feels like he's been given the all clear from Abject, and he has, as he's made his way down to the southwest courtyard. But MP have picked up 2 kills to his left. Mirage dropped by 1 as Europe will get himself that kill onto Chris, and there are a lot of allied bodies at the moment for the raw side to escort you up through. No sign of any Axis players. There is one behind him now. Europe's down to 60 points of health, but escape. There's an Axis right in front of him, and he walks onto the end of his MP40, and that will be objective secured. And the Allied side at 6s and 7s here, as they are left kind of out. So it's you. Some back at spawn, some not. Allies have picked up the objective this time, though. They're with Jam. Jam's going to make his way past the flag, and we'll go through. Are the Axis able to reset and get a defense up at the Allied spawn here? Let's take a look. Jam doesn't know where anyone is, and we'll take a quick peek and see where this MP defense is set up. We're on board with Mirage there, sorry, Chris there, and Steve's set up. So they're set up nicely. It's all really on Weeb. If he can pick a hole in the incoming allies, it looks like there's one there, and it is! He finds the hole! A 3-man Panzer wipes them out. There's a 4th MP40 kill. Where is that objective? It is with Jam, and he has had to go all the way back to the flag. And advantage MP with that whopping Panzer. Jam left lonely, falling back. And Weeb will feel like he has to do it all again, and does. Picks himself up a single kill. Very thin doorway for the MP players to try and get through, and they can't. Weeb has been killed, and Kevin is the one who is making his way behind the Axis and be feeling like he can open up this defense. Kevin has a big role to play here and can't get past the second man. Throw with the double Panzer picks out Steve and Chris on spawn. That's 2 players down full spawn. Raw, though, lose 2 of their own, and Jam goes back towards the courtyard outside the tavern once more. 3:10 on the clock here. And MP holding on. Oh, Weeb had an opportunity there, but he was pressured by the self-kill off the respawn that he wanted, and he fell short with his Panzer. 3 allied players coming in here, and it will be Jam to get picked off in the end by someone. Revive's coming in, and it'll be transferred over to Europe with the objective as they make their way out towards the southwest courtyard. And Jam pushes on, gets himself a kill, and will be saying to Europe, you can come out, I think, but there's Chris to be wary of. In fact, plenty of MP players to be wary of. Fro is only able to pick off 1, and we'll go back to following you up, who is like, you know what, I'll just sit back on my med packs and let Abject do some work as they try to make their way out to this next courtyard. But again, Up's like, you know what, I don't need this drama in my life, he says. Here he goes. Is this the beginning of the dock run for him? He's got plenty of Axis players in front of him, plenty of Allied friends as well, and they clear the path for Europe to come charging through with that objective and set a time of 8 minutes and 13 seconds. Let's see whether this MP team have it in them to beat it. Last time, they did not even break the crypt, so we'll feel like it. MP seemed to be much stronger on the defense post-crypt than they were with it. And the craziness kind of played for them. They'll be looking at that and thinking, if you're on the raw side, you'll be looking at it and thinking, that time could have been better. They had the objective for probably more time than they didn't. Probably had it for about 4 or 5 minutes in total. 1 failed run got stopped short, and in the end, they waited and played it safe to go through. But we have a time to beat. This is MP's map. And that does not bode well, as this raw side will be... This raw side will be feeling pretty confident, if they can get this through, that this is MP's map, and well, Raw thus far have looked a fair bit stronger. Waiting on one last player to ready up. I was going to say, I'm sure it's Toxic, but actually it's Mata. I feel like we were always waiting for Toxic back in the day.
Prepare to fight.
Here we go. Raw versus MP.
5, 4, 3.
Time to beat is 8 minutes and 13, and away we go. You know, I almost feel, you know, back in the old days when we would cast this, we used to have to say 3, 2, 1 so people could sync with Wolf TV or ETTV. And not saying it when you hear that countdown just feels kind of wrong. Obviously, there's absolutely no point in the days of Twitch to be reading out a countdown timer, but, you know, just feels good. Chris leads the charge in now for the MP side. Opens up with a frag onto Fro. That would be the Panzer. And Fro's grenade did pick off one, but that's not what you want there. As Lamp gets drowned. That's what you want from Fro. Triple Panzer comes in as he's revived and wipes out 3 MP players. Raw shut themselves up in the tavern and will be feeling pretty good about themselves now. Once you actually get a tavern defense set up comfortably, you are quids in for the next few minutes, and Fro is just going to rattle off a Panzer down towards the that corridor there. Probably then self-kill out, or a nade spam out and then self-kill out. But there's no one coming here, which probably means an allied attack short. MP must have just had a pretty awful spawn, and here we go. It's done that we're on board with. Fires off a few warding shots. I expected to see him jump around that corner. He didn't. Chris is the man with the short straw of having to lead this assault in. Picked up by Mirage's grenade. Fro is waiting, and you know it. Oh no! Running in the end of Weeb's Panzer was someone whose name I can't see was Chris, and that sets this MP attack back a long, long way, as UARP and Mirage will help themselves to MP40 frags. In the end, Fro says, you know what, anything you can do, I can do better, and takes out his teammate with his own Panzer as well, and both reset. But this isn't looking good for MP. Their spawn time isn't favourable, as the Axis are always going to be set up, and they're going to move at least 1, maybe 2 players through spawn, and they're not subtle about it either. To try and throw out this player who's there, it was Kevin, and Matter is kind of ignoring this attack and is just going to race on through. Where is he going? He's going to not spot that Axis player firing him down, and there'll be no flag grab, and MP are at 6s and 7s now. They don't really have wiping out Fro from behind is a helpful win for them, with MP's Lamp getting that frag. But with no flag, no way to break through the tavern, and they're not really pulling them apart at the moment. Who fired that Panzer that missed? Kevin seemed to not care about it, so I'm guessing it was his teammate. The MP side look a little lost. And they have 4 players now going through, and they will push out towards the tavern, and they'll try again. They open up the first frag. Gets revived. FMB comes in from the Axis side, which will hold MP back another 10 seconds or so. There's the Panzer from Fro, picking up 2. Gibbs neither, so both will come back. And there's the reset. Now, if you're MP, I think you want to wait. Wait till the Axis spawn in a few seconds and then go. Try and hold a couple of them out for long. And that's possibly exactly what they've done. Because at the moment it's the Allies who are being held out for long. Now they go. It's do or die this for MP. If they get these kills, they're in for the crypt all the way. They get the first one. Fro's Panzer, though, does more damage than the Allies can compete with, and they're being mowed down here one by one. A revive train is going, but there's still a lot of Ally Axis bodies on top of that revive train, just laying siege to them, and it is kill after kill after kill, and someone call the UN, because that is unpleasant, as Raw have just wiped out the incoming MP attack. They did right, they waited till spawn, and they got the opening frag, but after that, they were slaughtered going into the tavern. And MP are now back to square one, running out of time. And what makes me very scared is this is their map. Chris will lead that charge in now. Enters into the crossfire. You can kind of hear right into the danger zone being played in the background. Here we go. As the grenades rain in from Raw as they pick up a couple of kills. And it'll be Chris to go in. Pro leads the charge. And MP eventually are able to push them out. And we'll move in as Chris now make their way, leads the charge through now. Chris is going to be the one to toss down a support fire before self-killing, draws out the Panzer, in fact, from Fro, which is a less exciting but equally important job. There is an engineer in this charge, but it was a self-kill that came in from Steve, who was leading there, and I think he knew the writing was on the wall for him because he had a support fire on his tail. And the Axis set up around this crypt. Allied support fire come in. Matter gets himself a kill with an MP40 and a support fire, followed up by Chris. There's still 3 Raw players up there, but you feel like there's a bit of a gap here for MP as Chris goes in. Panzer and support fire take care of that engineer, and the Axis are able to push in. Are they? Well, yes. The Axis are able to push in, and they get themselves in towards that objective, and will set up a 3 or 4 man defense there. And here we go. Only 9 seconds left to go. Matter with a big double support fire follows up with an MP40. They've opened a bit of a hole here in that in that Raw defense. It's only Mirage set on the crypt, and he's only got 5 points of health to do something about it. He gets the first kill and the second, raining headshots, and importantly for him, he took out both a medic and an engineer. And if you've only got 5 points of health, that's what you've got to do. Beautiful play. Now, even if they were to get a dynamite on, they could run it through spawn. Maybe that they've just got to completely destroy this Raw defense. And they still have not got that. Yo, they now have that dynamite planted. So I don't even know if when that blows, whether they'll be able to do anything. But they're going to give it all they've got. Matter is just king of the support fire today. Another double kill. And oh, Chris pushes out and goes down for a long time. That's not what you needed if you're MP. Grip blown, objective picked up, and Fro's Panzer was there to meet them, as the Raw side will feel like they have this all locked down. And return those objectives. Map number 1 going the way of Raw. Noticing the comment from one of the admins that the stream is lagging. We may disconnect and put up a lower the bitrate on the stream. Streaming at like 6 megs, so we could drop that quite easily and potentially improve it. Let's ask if that's still doing it. Still lagging.
Affirmative.
I have no idea if they want me to drop the bitrate or not. But you know what? We're going to do it. So I'm going to disconnect for 2 seconds to drop the bitrate, and we will be back in just a moment. 1 second. and take if you are the attacking Axis team. Here comes the Panzer from Fro. Wipes out one. It's Oxy who's down. Here's the return fire from Weeb. Doesn't hit anything. He is having a torrid ice. But luckily he has teammates who are on form. Matter is one of them, having a great game. Toxic is on top of the flag and now will make his way in to pick off Jam. There's no one else there, and is going to FFE to take out the incoming Axis respawners. But with that kill onto Jam, that means at least one of them's down full spawn. Both Panzers fly past each other like ships in the night. The attack is coming the other side. Toxic pushes in. He'll go through. We're on board with Fro. Axis do have players coming towards the frag from the other side, as Mirage is forced to fall back. And Axis will claim that flag. They have a 20-second spawn though. And we'll move on to the next stage. Down by that service door, there's a crossfire set up by two MP players. It's Chris who helps himself to the first frag. They fall back. And MP thinks someone's up at the objectives, and they are. Does that support fire do the job? Fro elsewhere has a double Panzer. MP lose some numbers, and it's Oxy who's now going to do something about this objective. He can see that green box that's up there, and he will return the objective for the Allied side as he makes his way down. Oxy has to pull out of that grenade, and the MP side will push back forward as they reclaim the shipping halls. And we'll push back and make this a long old spawn for the Axis. One player, Kevin, tried to get into that flag but couldn't. We're on board with Weeb. We seem to have been given him the commentator's curse thus far, but this time he does deliver. Takes down Abject and Fro with a double Panzer, and importantly, taking down his opposite number will set up MP for a very happy flag defense. As they'll push out the Axis. The Allied side will be looking at a self-kill any second as well, as the Axis descend upon that flag. And, suddenly the tides have turned in this QuakeCon final. MP, who on Village, their own map, were all over the shop, now on ice, look comfortable, competent, and ready to put some points on the board. Here goes Fro, trying to make his way towards that flag, doesn't do so, and it will be Kevin who has made his way all the way out towards the Allied spawn. Not sure which route he got there from. Now it's Mirage outside of it. Axis side stuck. This spawn time not favourable to them at the moment. And Fro with the Panzer, there's a grenade that'll get dropped from that dead body as well. We'll give off another player. Chris is there, gets picked off, as we'll see you up going through. Weeb makes his way on with the grenade, and Jam is the one who's gone around the outside. Jam's the one who could do something interesting here. Let's see if we can get over to him. Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Missed him. And Jam goes around the outside. Elsewhere, MP picking up 3 frags to the 1 from Fro. Jam's going to collect this objective. If I'm him, the objective's going to set off all the alarm bells. Do you not just go behind the service door and take some players from behind, cleaning out the way for your teammates, and maybe get that flag? They've got 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Jam sits here, but yeah, he's just chilling. He's just enjoying the view in the cold up at this lovely castle, as one does. And now Jam collects those objectives. MP, though, have 2 kills elsewhere. Raw have helped themselves to frag shaper. Fro! Oh, what a grenade from you up! No, not from you up. I think it was from Matter, who just absolutely wipes him out. And all was for nothing. But the Axis did claim those shipping halls in the meantime. And Chris, with the Thompson, helps himself to the lives of Uop and Jam. And now let's see whether he can hold on to this flank, because that is what he is afraid of. There's someone pushing down doing exactly this. Big grenade! Absolutely beautiful grenade from Fro, and he will hold on to that flag for the Raw side and self-kill and reset. As Raw will be feeling a little bit of pressure now. Panzer winds up from Weave, does take out Mirage, but that leaves Fro to go through. He makes his way out, takes out Chris. Now what's the opportunity for him? And Luger is out, wrecking across towards someone trying to go up towards the spawn ladder. As it's Kevin on the outside, getting picked off by Steve's artillery, and he will continue the push firing at the black dot upon the hill. Panzer comes in from Weave, picking off Mirage. There is Yuop getting himself the kill. There's another player coming in. Oh, Yuop has himself two there, and he creates a bit of a hole in that Allied defense. Can he make his way to the objective? He knows someone's up there, he can hear them. And they know he's there, because they all died to him. And he's now getting fired from behind and the front, and the crossfire does its job. And MP set up nicely to hold on to this objective at the moment, with 2:22 on the clock. Chris is there, gets himself the kill onto Jam, who was thinking about making his way to the objective, but now it's on the other foot. The Allied side racing down towards the flag. They have reclaimed it, and it's only Lamp left who could try and get himself back. Axis recapture it, and feel good about it. We picked off by Yuop, though. And MP will be reset up at the service halls. A little bit unsure as to how far they should push down. But with a grenade coming from Oxy, the second one. Oh, I can't believe Matt didn't get a kill there. He will follow up with a Gib. And Axis self-kill. We have just 90 seconds left on this one. Helps himself to a bag full of headshots onto Abject. Pick up frag after frag after frag, and that Axis assault is dwindling in its potency. What have we got? We're missing Raw players at the moment. Raw needs something special from Fro. He has delivered a bit today. They're going to need it now. 4 players out as they make their way up now towards this objective. This is their last chance saloon to grab this and set a time. Here goes first frag from Jam. Is there to be a second? Self-kill out from his opposite number as he now goes up towards the objective. Graw misses it, grabs it the second type of asking. 31 seconds to run it away! And he is met by Thompson bullet after Panzerfaust. And that objective will sit going nowhere fast. And, well, you feel that if Raw had just a couple more minutes, they may have set a time. But that's not the name of the game. The name of the game is not, oh yeah, you can have all the time in the world. No. As MP full hold out the Raw side on their map. As we go into map 2, round 1. If MP can set a time, they will tie us up. Well, let's see what they've got. As for a neutral, you kind of want a tie game going into that last round, but let's see what they got. I'm assuming it's not that scenario. And that it is going to play out as you'd expect, kind of classic ABBA2, but we'll check. Alright. You up with all the ammo in the world. Pushes down. Here's the line of the Panzer. Three quick frags from MP as they will be met by a couple back from Raw. As they go through dynamite quickly planted on that service door. As Raw will make their way down. Axis capture that shipping hall, but 2 Raw players will try to make their way back in there. Full Axis spawn on top of them, and that is a picture-perfect start from MP. Oh, there's 1 Raw player left up by the flag. Yes, there is. It was you up, but in the end he's dropped. Kevin picks himself up an MP40 frag as well. Allies will be respawning in a second, so they're going to push down, try and do as much damage as they can, and then go through. Service door breached is MP's cue to push in Weeb, who has had a mixed bag with that Panzer today. Make his way through. Oh, great grenade from Weeb. Caps you up on the head and then follows up with the Panzerfaust. Beautiful play from Weeb. Throws double Panzer, does equalize out the numbers here, but hats off to Weeb as he creates an opportunity for himself. MP will watch out the Allied self-kill. Steve smartly waiting back for that to happen before he is eaten alive by Mirage's MP40. And over at one of those Axis spawns was Matter, and Jam dispatches of him. Fro unable to get off his Panzer shot there, and it's Mirage who's the one who's sent all the way back. Make sure no one's gotten through. No one has, and as Steve makes his way out the top of the long route, there's no route for him. Allies feeling... You can see from Mirage's position that they don't know exactly... They feel like someone may have gotten through, but they haven't, and they push in now. Weeb is the one who's left having to hold on here and make sure no one grabs that flag. And it's a game of spawn times now. You self-kill, I push out. I self-kill, you push out. But there's plenty of time on this for MP. Into the service halls goes... Oh. One exit player. Fro is going to fire off. He didn't really need to there, and couldn't see who was going to fire back at him. And in the end get caught out, but he will respawn nevertheless, and he's now waiting to be given his target. Fires into the stairwell, connects onto Matter, who is dangerous, and up to the objective goes Mirage and friend Jam, as they feel like someone has breached. But no sign of that. But that will give MP another opportunity, and MP beginning to find a few holes in this raw defense. Fro is pushed a long way down there, as now we'll see this grenade coming up from one, as he goes up to the yeah, Fro did collect those shipping holes, and so the Axis decide if they have got a hole, which they briefly did to collect those documents, they have to capture it now because they've all been pushed a long way back. Are there many players back here? Three-ish players back here, which would suggest there's a couple up at the Allied base, but two have been killed at least. So they reclaim this flag, and they just got to hold this and reset. Excellent flag grab there. Bought Raw some time because there were holes in that defense that MP are finding with ever-increasing consistency. Allied all set up now for Spam Fest in by the service door, which Fro will gladly add to with his Panzer. Oh, only take down himself in the end. He wanted to fire up before he self-killed, but there was a whole host of players to be firing at, which he goes for now. Picks himself up one. It's Weeb that goes down, as Raw will squeeze in on the service door, and Mirage finds himself with an inbound Axis force here that he needs to get out of, because his spawn time at that time was not in his favor. First frag comes in. There's a team kill from the Allied side, and everyone resets and respawns once more. We'll take a little walk with Kevin, as he thinks, maybe I can go for the flag here. He's got a teammate to his left. He's done a fair bit of damage to the Axis medic that was and never didn't get any further than that. Allies do reclaim that shipping hole in the end, and MP now have to make this attack count, which they don't seem to be doing. And 4 or 5 of them spawn back, and that should allow Raw to push down. probably down towards that service hall. Let's see whether Fro can wield the Panzerfaust and open things up. Toxic has the Panzer at the moment for the MP side. And throughout Toxic's career, I've never loved it when he picks up that Panzer. He is so gifted elsewhere that it always just seems a waste to see him do it. But, you know, what do I know? Raw drop back. Quite content to have bought themselves another kind of 30 seconds by grabbing that flag, maybe 45. And you can see MP have 2 players thinking about the flag. They've got another 2 players who haven't pushed past the service door. They're waiting for Axis to go out on a long spawn. Sorry, the Allies to go out on a long spawn before they push in. Now they go, but it's a lot of time that the Allies then bought. And with that Panzer being picked off there by the grenade from Mirage, there's not much they can do. They can't create the hole. Mirage picked himself up the first frag, is equalized out by Lamp. And now Clown is just looking for someone. He cannot find an ally to shoot at, but they have created a hole now as they make their way across the mid-level. The Panzer from Fro was too early, and here goes Chris, and here goes his buddy. I think it's Lamp. No, it's Toxic who's up there. The 2 of them are going to make their way over towards the objective. Lamp's there too. That Panzer from Fro will be wind up and ready to go any second now, as it will be Fro coming up the stairs with his grenades. Objective still up there, but Fro with the Panzer, double hit! Beautiful stuff from him, and Lamp will be picked off with that objective and go nowhere. And that was their chance, MP, their opportunity to level up this QuakeCon final, and they couldn't take it. And Fro, cometh the hour, cometh the Panzer, saves the day. 2-2-2 on the board. Fro gets pushed further and further back. Axis support fires in. Fro's about to 180 drop down with that Panzer, take out Toxic, and does so. Makes his way back up towards the rooftop, where he will hop across towards the wall, and then is dropped down. There are 2 MP40 frags unanswered here, and Mirage is going to have to make his way up to this objective and just sit pretty. And he does, and he gets himself the kill onto Chris as well. And are there any more inbound allies? It looks like no. He definitely does have someone coming, and he knows it. You can hear his footsteps. Mirage winds up, and it's Toxic who runs onto the end of his MP40. Probably didn't have much health to play with either. 1 minute and 15 to go. Things beginning to get a little fraught. And now it will be Matter's opportunity. Matter goes up towards that objective. He will grab it, and he has got it. And he is running, and he has 60 seconds to win this map for MP. Hop, skip, and a jump. There's an FFB all over him, and he's got a teammate who's trying to help him. And Jam is going to go down, and he and Lamp are going to come together. And the 2 of them huddle, say a little prayer, and then walk out on top of a grenade. But there's a second player up there. It's Lamp. They're both down. The objectives are out and down on the top of that stairwell. Someone running over to return them, and the Allies secure those docks once more. And let's see, there is no one running them, but Fro thinks someone's going to grab them any second now. Fires off a Panzer in towards the stairwell, gets the kill onto Chris. There was another player up at those objectives, but I think Mirage has taken care of him. And it looks like we're all out of time. And we will tie up on round 1 of ice with no one setting a time. And Raw will probably breathe a big sigh of relief, because there were lots of holes that MP found, and they will think going into their second attack, when they have to set the time, that they may well just be able to do it. We are going to take a quick bathroom break, and we'll be back in just a quick moment here for the potential conclusion.